Thanks for joining Sales with Suli, a mom of 3 who spent the last 12 summers knocking doors. Welcome to my podcast where I talk about all things women, the ups and downs of my journey, and what it takes to find success on and off the doors. Enjoy this episode. Welcome back, friends, to this week's episode. I'm actually super stoked. One of the things that I've been wanting to do after the summer is just kind of getting a lot of women to be able to come and just share their experiences who've never had any experience in the door-to-door space. And so, again, one of my mottos and one of the things that I'm trying to do in the door-to-door space is just bringing more awareness to the industry, bringing more female reps so that they can feel like there is a place for them here in the industry. And so I've been kind of just wanting to chat with different girls, and I'm going to bring a few other ones on who are just testing things out for the very first year. And so Destiny, this was her very first summer here in the industry. And so one of the things that I actually want Destiny to do is I want to know about you, just kind of like who you are, where you came from, why sales, and where you're at now. So give us a little background about you.
Yeah, so my name's Destiny Rose. I'm from Texas, specifically Belton, Texas, so small town.
You can hear it in her accent. That's why people love her.
But yeah, so before this, I was dead set on, I'm going to be a dental hygienist. So, yeah.
Really? That's why you have such perfect teeth.
Yeah. Well, I spent 4 years in braces, too. So,
really?
Yeah, I had terrible teeth growing up. So, I was always in the dental office. And so, I guess that's where it, came from. I was I want to do this.
Oh, my gosh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and so, that's what I wanted to do for the longest time. And then I was a dental assistant for a while just to get into the dental field.
Okay.
And I got into dental hygiene school, saw how much it was, and I was just like, ooh,
how much is dental hygiene school?
So the school I got into was private school, and it was going to be, $60 grand plus. They don't
for
want
a year?
2 years, for a 2-year program. Yeah, plus they don't want you to work during the program. So
you already got to be wealthy to go to dental school.
Exactly. And so
wow.
it was either and my parents even told me, they were like, look, you're going to be in debt, but we'll help you out as much as we can. But there's going to be debt. Just know it. They were like, if this is really what you want, we'll
support you as much as we can.
Yeah, but they were just like, it is what it is. If you really want to do this, we're behind you. I was like, you know what? Let's go look and see what else is out there. I was like, because school is always going to be there.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, cool. So I actually spent some time at some financial institutions, Fidelity and Charles Schwab.
So did you do work there or
mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, so I actually learned a lot about money and finance.
That's why you're a little better than some.
Yeah, so I learned all about 401ks, IRAs, where to put your money, stuff like that. And then while I was there, I spent 2 years doing that. I quickly learned I didn't want to do the 9-to-5 thing anymore.
Okay.
I was just like, oh, this is a lot of my time, for not that much money.
So they weren't paying you that well?
Yeah, no, it was okay. It was enough to keep you comfortable and keep you there. And so I built up a little nest egg, and I was like, okay, let's try something else. And I heard about door-to-door. I didn't really know anybody that did it.
Okay.
So when I told my parents that I wanted to do that, obviously I'm an adult and I'm out of the house.
Yeah.
They were just kind of like, okay, cool, you do you, baby. But
you do you, baby.
Yeah, but they were kind of not expecting a lot out of it. They were like, okay, it's 4 months. If you fall on your butt, it's fine.
Yeah, it's 4 months.
Yeah, you can always come back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. So ended up doing that. Fell on my butt for the first 2 months and then found Pure.
Okay, but I wanted to hear your story. So you started with pest control and then a solar company and then here. So I want to hear how you got into pest control, where you transitioned to and to where you're at now.
Yeah, honestly, I just applied online. So
did you for pest control? You applied online?
I sure did.
It is is crazy because for that specific company, like, I can't believe how many awesome people have applied on, and your resume was probably like jazzed up for sure.
Oh yeah. And I was just like, and I got a call like the very next day, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Of course they called you the next day.
And so, but I actually never even sold Fest at all. Not
I
one
forgot about
day.
that.
So
Sorry.
like, yeah.
So you weren't there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was like not there at all. But I got to see their kind of company culture, and that was cool experience. Like, just getting into door to door, I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then, and then I got picked. I kind of just fell into solar.
I
Solar
feel like
kind
you
of
did.
found me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, like this is pretty cool. Let's do this. And then I was like, well, if we're doing solar, there's plenty of sun in Texas, so why don't I just get my butt back home?
Yeah. So when you first started in solar, because the one thing that was super intriguing about you is like the simple fact that one, you're a lone wolf, and two, you were okay with it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how were you? What were some of the things, because again, this is your first year in door-to-door period, like what were some things that you were doing, like mentally, like emotionally, to keep you like going, because you were by yourself for a good minute?
Yeah, I mean, I was completely by myself in Texas. I did have a good mentor that like full on believed in me.
Yeah.
And he was awesome. Like, don't get me wrong at all. And still have a good relationship there.
Oh, good.
Which is really cool. But what helped me out a lot was I had a nest egg. So I wasn't financially stressed before I did this.
I forget about that part. Like, that's one of the, a lot of people who are getting into the door-to-door industry, they'll ask like, what's a couple things that I can do? And Destiny didn't even know that that's like something awesome that you should have, but exactly that. And this is an all commission based job, and you coming from a place of like financial literacy from like the company that you were, put a nest egg so it allow you to kind of like, fall on your face if you needed to. But tell us about that like short time that you were a lone wolf. Like, were you teaching yourself? Like, how did you overcome and or did you like find success? Like, what did you do during that time?
Yeah, so I was knocking in Austin, quickly figured out that Austin has Austin energy, and then like everything's super cheap there. So I was like, okay, I gotta change my strategy.
Okay.
It's not about the savings. It's about all these other things.
Yes.
It's about, owning your power. I was like, come on. Like, so I was like staking in all these other things, and like, unfortunately, I wasn't very successful. And then I went to my hometown, Belton, and I actually did find success there.
That's cool.
And so, it turned out that I was just like, let me find a company that knows what they're doing here in Texas.
A little bit, just a little bit, because it seems like you have the independence, and a lot of people, they just jump into like a company or they jump into a business, and it's just like they need to be handheld through everything. And like, my Destiny is definitely like, as I'm trying to like hold her hand and do all these things, she's like, I'm fine. I'll do it. Go. Like, just I'll figure it out. Like, it's totally fine. And so, but what made you want to give something else a shot? Just the simple fact that because you're a lone wolf, or?
Yeah. So I think for me, the reason. Like, you mean, why did I want to give Pure a shot? Mm-hmm. Like, after going through
another company, not even just like Pure, but like, why did you decide that like, hey, I am going to give another solar company a shot?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was because of my nest egg.
Okay.
I knew whenever I started this journey, I was like, I got 4 months of savings. I got 4 months of summer. So if I don't make a dime all summer long, I'm okay. I still have like reserve, you know? So yeah, I was just like, okay, well, this is part of my 4-month plan, so let's on to the next.
I love that you literally like made sure for 4 months. Like, it's no wonder that you weren't as, emotionally up and down as like some of us women during the summer. So now that makes sense. But I love it. And how old are you, Destiny?
I'm 25.
Okay. So first of all, for those of you guys out there who are looking to add more value or to be able to have like more women out there, for me, I really have like spent a lot of time, like the age gap and ranges is really like super important. I feel like this is like a sweet spot. Destiny, 22, 23, 24, 25, I feel like we're just a little bit more mature. But for those of you women who are trying to get into the space and wanting to make sure that you aren't like so stressed, definitely take that advice and being able to have a little bit of a nest egg so that it's just, you can truly get in there and just get your feet wet. But I want to end with two things. Like one, what was something that you found like as your first summer as a female rep in the door-to-door space, what was something that you have seen or found that female reps can use as a crutch during the summer that can be debilitating for themselves and for the industry?
So I think the number one crutch is kind of riding that roller coaster of having these extreme highs and then falling down on it with the extreme lows.
Yes.
Just kind of, I would suggest just keep an even kill. Just, hey, I got to close. Awesome, cool. My butt needs to be back out there the next morning, you know?
Yes,
that way
they're going to cancel.
Yeah, that way if something does fall through, hey, I have another one coming. There's another one in the pipeline. It's going to be fine.
I love that. And that definitely speaks to like your work ethic too. And that's one thing that I just love about women. When they know that they're going to go out and do something, they're just going to go and do it. They're going to create a plan. They're going to make it work. And they're going to find a way to overcome some of the negative things that are going to happen during the summer. But I like that you brought up that roller coaster, the highs and the super lows. We definitely want to take our time to be able to just focus on the middle. But what is something that you feel like we as women can use to be able to like level up? Like what's something like great about us that will help us to just level up?
I mean, honestly, kind of mentioned it before, but it was my first time to live with a bunch of women. I had never had roommates before
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So that was interesting for me.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool to come home and you would be like talking about the day and maybe you had a rough day.
Yeah.
The group of women here are very supportive. So that has been something that's super cool to come home to and just be like, hey, like it's okay. Or, or you did get clothes and like, oh yeah, it's awesome.
And I feel like women were able to like find value from you too. Like even though you're super independent, even though you like do things like on your own, I felt like just your presence, people were able to bring value. And then, so those are just a couple of tips that I want to be able to like leave behind for those of you women who are just now starting and are new into this space. Have a little bit of a nest egg. Start now on focusing on where your emotions are. You don't want to be too high and you don't want to be too low. And then know that there's going to be like success in numbers. Like it's going to be about the women that you're going to be surrounding yourself with. It's going to be around the team that you're going to be surrounding yourself with. And if you're not on a team with other women that you can surround yourself with or that you can be able to relate to, become one. Become that rep that you're hoping that someone else can be to you, or become that leader that you'd want to see in yourself.
Thanks for taking the time to tune in. If I've added any kind of value to your thoughts on knocking doors, please share this podcast with another female rep. Until next time, know that you are capable, you are valued, and most importantly, you are enough.